Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back with another video. How's everybody doing? It's that time of the week again. Time to go through the football picks and predictions for this week. Week 16, the second to last week of the NFL season. So starting in the 2016 season, I started doing this basically every week of the football season. I go through all the games and tell you who I think's going to win, talk about them, recap, all that stuff. So I mean, I should probably keep track of these. Like, I don't know exactly like how well I do as far as predicting the games goes, but I mean, I watch so much sports that I tend to think I'm pretty good. I tend to think I know what I'm talking about. So I'll go through all the games that are going on each week and tell you who I think's going to win. So let's get to it. So week 16. So first we'll start off with the playoff picture because that's extremely relevant. So what we have right now in the AFC. So start with the AFC, then we'll talk about the NFC. So AFC, the Chiefs have clinched their division. So they're in the playoffs. The Texans are the second seed. Then you got the Patriots, the third seed. You got Steelers, Chargers, and Ravens from there. As far as the NFC goes, we got the Saints, number one. They clinched their division, and they're in the playoffs. So they have the X and the Y. I don't think they have... yeah, so they clinched the playoff berth and their division. All right, then you got the Rams, then the Bears. The Bears are in the third. The Bears have snuck into the third seed. And talk about a team sneaking in. The Dallas Cowboys, who are at one point, like, 1-6, have snuck into the playoffs. They are 8-6 as the fourth seed. The Seahawks are the fifth seed, 8-6. Vikings are also sliding in right now, tentatively at 7-6-1, but the Eagles are right on their heels. The Eagles are not in the playoffs right now, but it could change depending on whether or not they beat Houston this week. So that's kind of where things stand in terms of things being locked in. It looks more probable than not that the well, all right. So in the AFC, so the Texans, they're playing the Eagles this week, as I said, and it's in Philadelphia, and the Eagles have to win this game to make it into the playoffs. It is must win, otherwise their season's going to end next week. First of all, Merry Christmas to you. Where the hell are my manners? I should get that straight. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that. I can't believe I forgot. It's Christmas. This is that week of the year where you got, sometimes you get, I think there should be games on, are there games on Tuesday for Christmas Day? No, there aren't. Sometimes there are. There's Christmas Eve games. It just kind of depends when Christmas falls, I guess. But anyways, so that's kind of where things are. So if the Eagles win that game, the Texans will drop down to 10-5. Assuming the Patriots win their two layup games, they will also be 10-5 because they have the tiebreaker over Houston. They will be the number 2 seed. The Chiefs will be playing, I believe it's the Seahawks this week. Let me just check. Yes, they are. So the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle Sunday night. That is a huge game. Now, as far as the Seahawks are in the playoffs right now at 8-6 as the 5th seed, but obviously with the Vikings at 7-6-1 and the Eagles at 7-7, that's extremely tenuous. So nothing's locked in. So they really need to win. Kansas City really doesn't need to win, except if they lose, then they'll be 11-4. The Texans will be 10-5. Yeah, no, they'll still have the best record. So it seems like they are on their way to locking it up here as the 1 seed. So we'll see what happens. So anyways, as far as the schedule goes, Thursday night, first game of the week. We've got the Redskins in Tennessee. Wait a minute. There is no Thursday night game. What am I talking about? Usually there's a Thursday night game. This week, there's a Saturday game. We have Saturday games now. So weeks, I believe it's 15 and 16. No, is it 14 and 15 or is it 15 and 16? There's Saturday games. As well as in the playoffs, there'll be a couple Saturday games in there. So I don't know why. The last few years they've done this, and I don't get it. Like, I'm not saying I don't like it. I actually really do like it. But I don't get why it's like just 2 weeks. Like, what are they testing it? I mean, you'd think that they know by now whether or not they want to do that. I don't know, but this one's on Saturday for you. Tennessee and the Redskins, they both kind of suck, to be honest with you. It's in Tennessee. Give me the Titans. Next game out, Baltimore Ravens, LA Chargers. Give me the Chargers. However, the Ravens, by the seat of their pants, they're in the playoffs right now as the 6th seed. However, the Colts are also 8-6, and the Titans are also 8-6 as the 7th and 8th seed, 7th and 8th seeds respectively. So as far as what happens with what's going to happen with that goes, it kind of really depends on what happens in the next couple of weeks. So it's like in both conferences, this is really a year. There hasn't been a year like this in the NFL for a very long time, where it's like week 16 and both conferences are wide open. Now, obviously, you got the Saints and the Rams in the NFC, and then there's kind of really just the Chiefs in the AFC, and then, you know, the Patriots, Texans, Chargers. They're all kind of just competing for the, you know, for the spots from there on out. But it's really kind of like there's a couple good teams, and then everyone else is just kind of in the mix this year, which is it's more entertaining. You know, usually it's like the same few teams every year, but this year is some more parity, which is good, unlike the NBA. And unlike the NFL, it typically is. Anyway, so the Ravens 8-6, they kind of have to win. However, it's in. I still call them the San Diego Chargers because I mean, it's the LA Chargers. That's ridiculous. The LA. Go back to San Diego, you fraud team. Anyway, yeah, but no, they're a damn good team at 11-3. The Ravens are 8-6. So the Ravens, in one sense, have to win this game, or they're probably out of the playoffs. The Chargers really don't need to do anything. However, it's weird that with the second best record in the AFC and what could be the first best record in the AFC, or I guess the best record in the AFC, comes Sunday, or in this case Saturday. Oh, well, the Chiefs play Sunday, so you have to wait for that. They could go like they're only the fifth seed. Like the first seed is 11-3, but they're also 11-3, but they're the fifth seed. And what that has to do with is they're in the same division as the Chiefs, and you have to win your division to be a to get a bye. First round bye, so that's kind of the reason for that. But I mean, I think that like if the Chiefs lost and the Chargers win, I think the Chargers would go to the #1 seed, and like you could skip 5 spots in one game. It's unbelievable, but it's just that's the way it works. So anyways, so we've got that game. I think that I don't see how the Ravens are winning this game. Chargers are just on another level. Phillip Rivers, everybody, they're playing really well. It's a talented team. It's at home, even though like the Chargers are a team that doesn't really have a home stadium. Like they play in LA, but they're from San Diego, and they lost those fans. And LA's got well, they used to have no teams, and now they got a bunch of them. So it's kind of it's just one of those things. Where I actually think that makes a team tough, where it's like you almost didn't have any home games. It's like you're more mentally tough. But anyways, they got the Chargers win this game. Next game up, we got the Giants and the Colts. Give me the Colts because the Colts are another team that's playing really well. Next game, Jaguars and Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins. It's in Miami, except Jacksonville, same thing kind of. Next game, Panthers, Falcons. Give me the Panthers. These games are kind of layups. Browns and Bengals. Screw it. Give me the Browns. Like they fire Hugh Jackson, and now they're playing unbelievably all of a sudden. That team had some potential on it. It was just it's kind of in their head with that team. Next game, Buccaneers and Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. They brought in Amari Cooper, and it's been gravy since then. The team has been... I know people hate the Cowboys. I don't hate them as much as other people do. I mean, I guess, like, the fans are annoying. But, I don't know. They brought him in, and that was kind of what they needed. Dak Prescott still kind of sucks. I mean, he had a really good season in 2016, and then he just kind of lost his fastball. I don't really know how you did. He was good. And now he's just kind of He's kind of like not that he was a top quarterback then, but he was like, he was playing like if you think about like 75% of what Patrick Mahomes is now, that's kind of what Dak Prescott was in 2016. And now he's kind of like, just marginally better than And now he's just sort of marginally better than average, I guess. So it's just kind of it is what it is. But the Cowboys, they've really stepped it up. I got them winning this game. As far as the playoffs are concerned, like right now they'd be playing the Seahawks on Wild Card Weekend. It would be in Dallas. So it's definitely being in Seattle. That's a stadium where like the home road thing is definitely a factor because it's so loud and just kind of everything that goes along with that. What would happen there? I don't know. You kind of make a case for either of these teams. Anyways, I got the Cowboys winning this game. Next game up, we got the Vikings and the Lions. Give me the Vikings. The Lions suck. Next game up, the Bills and the Patriots. All right, I want to stop for a second and talk about this Patriots team because this has been a problem with this team. So they're playing the Bills. First of all, I got the Patriots winning. They're playing the Bills at home. I mean, it's a layup. But the Patriots this year, this is their worst record since 2009. So almost... Or is that 10 years? Like so when you count like sports seasons and years, it's kind of different than just like the math because it's like you have to count every single. Like if you said like 10 minus 5, it's 5. But if you were counting every season from 2005 to 2010, it's 6 because you're counting each one. So you can't. So it's 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So in 10 seasons, this was their worst record. So in 10 years, this is their worst record. That's telling you something about that team. Now, is it all over for them? No, because people say it's all over for them every year, and it's been 20 years. So, I mean, there's that. However, you know, your worst record in 10 years, they lost Josh Gordon today due to suspension for drugs, which... That's really just kind of sad that the guy can't get it right, you know. I hope he does, but you know, it shouldn't really come as a surprise that happened. Without him, I mean, the team's not hurt. That's the thing. Like, I think everybody on that team, except for who was put on injured reserve at the beginning of the season, they're all healthy. It's just that they don't have enough talent. There's just a talent problem on that team. Is their problem this year. So I think the defense on that team, they got, you know, of course they got gashed in the Super Bowl, but this last Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Patriots, neither team played any defense. That was an awful game. It was just not. It was like a Madden game. Like, just neither team really played any defense. It was just who had the ball last, essentially, is what happened in that game. And so with this team, this Patriots team, even though well, first of all, no team in the league's playing good. Like, nobody plays defense except kind of like the Bears, I guess, this year. So there's that. But also, they got better at defense. It's not completely terrible. You know, they really have stepped things up, and you know, you see in a lot of big spots they have been able to make plays. It's just that the offense, uncharacteristically, has not been good. People are saying, you know, Brady, he's got an MCL this year, MCL sprain or something like that. There's a rumor that's going around. And he's looked like he has an MCL sprain. Like, he's ducking out of throws. It's just they just haven't had the touch this year. In a year where other teams that usually suck have been actually pretty good. So you've seen them lose. They just lost 2 in a row. They lost to the Dolphins and they lost to the Steelers, who they always beat. So I think that, you know, as far as, you know, you think they're in the Super Bowl like every year. They ain't going this year, folks. I think that, you know, they're the 3rd seed right now. If this playoff started right now, they'd be playing on Wild Card Weekend, hosting the Ravens, which the last time that happened, coincidentally, was the last time they had a record this bad, which was in 2009 when they played the Ravens on Wild Card Weekend and got completely got wiped off the field in that game. That wouldn't happen this year, just because, I mean, they got Lamar Jackson, the rookie. They got, you know, it's just that ain't happening. You know, Ed Reed's not coming back for that game. Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. Just go down the line. They're not coming back. So this is not the Ravens team from years ago. What they would need to have happen to get a first-round bye is if the Texans lost this game, which we talked about earlier with the Eagles. The Eagles have to win the game against the Texans just to get in the playoffs, and it's in Philly. And the Texans have kind of choked in big spots in the last, well, kind of forever. But, you know, so there's that. So, I mean, if the Texans lose, assuming the Patriots win these 2 layup games, they'll be the 2nd seed in the AFC. If they are playing on Wild Card Weekend, they'll win. Then they go on to play they play the Texans, actually, in the divisional round. Looking at it right now, they have to go to Houston for that game. That's kind of... It depends what Texans team we get. If we get the Texans team that was in the playoffs like a couple years ago when they went to New England, or, well, actually that team actually played pretty well. Put it this way, if we get early season Texans, they're not going to win. If we get Texans as they are playing right now, they could probably win. I think that's really a toss-up, that game. And then I think that the winner's going to lose at Arrowhead and the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. Except, do not count out the Chargers, friends, okay? Because you get the Steelers playing the Chargers. Again, this is if the playoffs happen right now. I don't think this is not going to be the final format here just because of how, like, the Chargers have the same record as the Chiefs, and they're the 5th seed, and they could go to 1, and who knows what's going to happen here down the stretch. And you got Kansas City playing the Seahawks, so it's, you know, it's all... This could all be totally different in 2 weeks. This is going to be different in 2 days, or I guess, you know, a week. But it's really crazy this year. So the Steelers would play the Chargers. I think the Chargers would win that game. And then that's gonna be interesting. So keep your eyes peeled, folks. So next game up. So so I got the Patriots win this game. You got the Packers and the Jets, 2 teams that suck. Give me the. It's in New York. Give me the. Give me the Jets. That Packers team quit. The Eagles and Houston. Give me the Eagles in this game. It's in Philly. The Eagles have to win to get into the playoffs. As I've said, it feels like 5 times in this video. And the Texans have not lost since, like, October or something. Like, they almost lost. And they almost lost to the Jets last week when the Jets suck. So that's a problem when you're trending in that direction. Next game up, we got the Rams and the Cardinals. Give me the Rams. That is a, you know, a team really, you know, it's a you know, blown out of proportion matchup, or well, that's not the way to put it. You know, a team's gonna get blown off the field when it's week 16, and the record of each team is like flipped. So like the Rams are 11-3, and the Cardinals are 3-11. That tells you everything you need to know about what's gonna go on in this game. Give me the Rams. Next game, Bears and 49ers. Give me the Bears. 49ers. Sorry, screw the 49ers. The Bears defense. That's a good defense. I like that. I like what I'm seeing. See, being the 3 seed, not that that's really any different than the 4th, the 5th, or the 6th seed, because you're still playing on Wild Card Weekend. It's just, you know, it's just a matter of who and where. Defenses win championships. They do. Okay. So, not that they're winning a championship, but I don't know. They beat the Rams. They beat a lot of these teams. I mean, yeah, I kind of. They're not going to the Super Bowl. They will. I think this is my pick. I think the Bears will lose the NFC Championship game. I believe they're going to the NFC Championship game, or they're losing to the Saints. That's my pick. But that's, you know, what do I know? So, anyways, we got the next game: the Steelers and the Saints. So this game here. If you look at what's going on with the Steelers, so the Steelers lost 3 in a row going into their last game against the Patriots, and then now they have the Saints this week. So they were staring down the very real possibility of losing 5 games in a row and missing the playoffs, which almost happened, except they beat the Patriots last week. I wasn't that impressed with how the Steelers played. Like, Big Ben threw 2 picks, big, you know, game-winning scenarios. They couldn't close out the game. They just kept. You know, they only scored 17 points. You got Antonio Brown and Schuster and all those guys, and you only scored 17 against the Patriots defense that ain't that good. Except in big spots, they actually play well. The problem in that game was that the Patriots offense sucked. And it's just it's a personnel thing, you know. It really is. But you know, we kind of talked about that. So they had the possibility of losing 5 in a row. They beat the Patriots. But it doesn't it gets much more difficult this week when you're going to New Orleans against that team. Yeah, I just don't see how the Steelers are going to. I don't see how the Steelers defense is going to stop the Saints team. They're just not. It's not going to happen. Even though I could actually make a case for the Steelers in this game. Really, that, you know, winning last week and having all. I mean, they have just as many weapons, if not more, than the Saints. It's just that. Look, I'll pick, and the Saints have kind of been on a downwards trend, except I got to go with Drew Brees and Sean Payton's decision-making and capabilities over, you know, Big Ben and Mike Tomlin, who just, you know, doesn't, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory there. That Steelers team just chokes. So give me the Saints in this game. Next game, Seahawks and Chiefs. This is in Seattle. The Seahawks is the 5th seed. They pretty much need this game to stay in the playoffs. It's in Seattle. It's a mentally tough football team. It's loud. I got the Seahawks winning this game. And the reason I got the Seahawks winning this game is because you're dealing with a rookie quarterback who, well, is his second year. First year he started. He is damn good. But you go into a place like Seattle, one of, if not the hardest places to play in the league. In a gotta-have-it game against the Seahawks. And that Seahawks team, that's a team that, except for the time that they, you know, threw a pick and lost the Super Bowl at the end of the game, for the most part, is a very mentally tough, smart, intelligent team. The Chiefs, on the other hand, you got, do you think Andy Reid is going to go into CenturyLink Field in Seattle on Sunday Night Football, under the bright lights, national game, with that crowd going crazy, Week 16, playoff hopes and dreams on the lines for both teams, and, like, manage the game? Like, do you really think he's going to go in there and, like, not screw up the timeouts and not mess up the clock and the game management and call the right plays. I have all the respect in the world for Andy Reid. It's just big spots like these when it really matters. You're gonna have some problems there. And then the Seahawks team, you can't really ever count them out. It's kind of like the Patriots almost. It's kind of like, you know, or like, I don't want to say like the Seahawks, but it's kind of been like the only, in the Steelers too, the only consistently, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Nope, no I don't, I thought I did. You know, the only teams that are consistently, you know, there, you know, or contending every year, it's kind of really Seahawks and Steelers and Patriots, and it's kind of usually it, to be honest with you. It's kind of a mixed bag every year, especially this year. So, yeah, it's you gotta, I got the Seahawks win this game. I do. It'll be a close one, but the Chiefs are a team that needs to have their offense in a rhythm. Like, just, okay, move this guy over here. You know, all those Andy Reid adjustments. Okay, we're going to shuffle this guy. We're going to do an RPO over here. We're going to do a read option, and we're going to put a trip set over there. We're going to roll this guy. We're going to motion the running back out over there. We're going to bring the tight end. We're going to send the tight end on a fly route. We're going to, like, you can't go into a really loud stadium where it's very hard to play, given the fact you cannot play defense, like, really at all, and win that way. It's just very difficult. I got the Seahawks winning this game. Last game of the week, Monday Night Football. Two teams that are kind of totally out of it here and are just playing for draft positions at this point. The Raiders and the Broncos. It's in Oakland. The Raiders won a game. Give me the Raiders. Other than that, until next time, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Have a happy, Merry Christmas to you and yours, to one and all. And until next time, until next week, the last week of the season, that'll do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching.